Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another video today. Today we will be getting a channeled message for the collective. This is a general read. Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, ancestors, guides, I ask that you please guide me, protect me, assist me, providing channeled messages for the collective, for their benefit and to mine. I thank you for this. We're going to start out with the overall energy card, see what the overall energy is for the read. What is the point in all of this? Okay. Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, ancestors, God. Messages for the collective. Can we get the overall energy for the read, please? Can we get the overall energies for the read for the collective, please? Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, ancestors, God. Messages for the collective and the overall energy. Thank you. Not on my bingo card. Okay, thank you. So something could be happening that is unexpected. Thank you. Genius or no? Okay. Anything else? Give thanks to God. Give to God. Okay, thank you. Genius or no? So whether you're a genius or not, you still need to give thanks to God. Even if something happens that's not on your bingo card. Even if something happens that you weren't expecting, you should always reflect grace back up at God for having grace shown upon you. Or someone thinks they're a genius, but they're not. They don't give enough thanks to God, or they don't give thanks to God at all. Maybe they're very full of themselves and think everything comes from within and not from a higher power. Like, they'll take all the credit. They do not give glory to God. They do not give credit to God when miraculous things happen or even unexpected things. Like the energy from not on my bingo card is something unexpected, okay? Not on my bingo card, energy's on the top. All right, thank you. Okay, so we have Ace of Wands, Hermit, and the Magician on the bottom of these. The Devil, Three of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. So Ace of Wands and the Devil, I think somebody is either a Capricorn or acting out of lower vibrational spiritual practices in regards to manifesting things or trying to make things happen, or they might be out here being reckless spiritually or sexually. Heartbreak when someone is being introspective. So perhaps someone is giving over into addictions or other addictive patterning, right? When they are trying to make things happen. So maybe instead of being introspective, because it hurts too much for this individual to be introspective, they do that. They lean into an addiction, or they lean into some sort of cope or something. Okay, the Magician. All right. We have manifestation. We have control, elemental control, mastery, having everything you need at your fingertips. Okay, so collective, you could have everything you need at your fingertips. You could be in control. There could be someone out here trying to control. There could be someone out here who is manipulating an individual based on their addictions or their addictive patterning, or there could be an individual out here who considers themselves a magician, but really the only thing they're manifesting is from a very lack mindset. They're manifesting from hurt and unhealed wounding, They're manifesting from devilish energy. So there's someone out here trying to manipulate, okay? Or there's someone out here trying to get their heart's content, get what, you know, what they desire. They're being very selfish. All right, that's what all of these energies are here. Thank you so much. Magician on top. Thank you so much. More shuffling. Page of Cups, Ace of Wands. Okay, someone is trying to make something happen with an apology. Someone is trying to get up the initiative or the drive to give someone an apology. Ace of Wands. Someone's trying to manifest something. Someone's trying to make something happen. Someone's taking an actionable step. Someone has a thought or a plan. Three of Wands on its side. Someone's plan or someone's idea. It's just not being kicked into gear. There's, you know, someone's plans have fallen flat or have been foiled, or, you know, their plans were made in inversion, so they had ill intent with their plans. So instead of having like some sort of embarkation day where they would be starting out on their journey, they're stuck instead. So they're just waiting and watching, but they never see anything come in. Someone does a lot of pacing. Okay, thank you. On its side. And Temperance, Sagittarian energy. Thank you. Anything else you missed out? Messages for the collective. Messages for the collective. What else does the collective know about this Three of Wands on its side? What about this Three of Wands on its side? Okay. A Page of Wands. Okay. So there's a lot of like false starts, or there's a lot of like starting new things or beginning new jobs, or this is giving like scammy energy, or someone who lives their life like a scam, like always trying to get deposits but never actually, you know, showing up for the job, or always trying to, you know, get funding but never actually bringing a new project into fruition, or never actually, you know, returning anything on investments, never keeping their word, always waiting and having people always waiting and watching as if something's about to happen any minute. Everything I said is going to come true. Just you wait, just you wait. But they're always waiting and watching. Okay, so that's the energy there. Thank you. Three of Swords, Four of Pentacles. Someone's heartbroken. They couldn't hold you back. King of Cups. Could be a King of Cups. Try to hold you back. It's heartbroken. They can't hold you back. Okay, thank you. Three of Swords. Heartache. Betrayal. Emotional betrayal. Psychological blows. Manipulations. Nine of Wands. Coordinated attacks. Over and over and over again. Somebody lacks defenses. Somebody wanted for you to have to be on your toes all the time. Somebody wanted to repeat attack you. Thank you. The Nine of Pentacles. You're independent from this. Something is just yours. It's only for you. It's all for you. Okay, collective, I'm getting omen imagery again. Individuals with large houses, and monies that's so old and so convoluted of an origin story. Families marrying too close together with, you know, eyes that end up too close together and stuff like that too. So there's all this sort of energy that you are, first of all, you're independent from. If you came from this sort of thing where it was old money, there were a lot of family secrets, there was a lot of lies and illusions. If you came from this scammy, seedy, father was a bootlegger, son is the president sort of energy. If you came from that sort, then you're independent from that. You escaped it. You escaped it in the upright. So it either couldn't touch you, or something was left all to you. It's all yours. It all belongs to you. You're the only one that got away with something, like, unscathed. Everyone else is either suffering events for which they did not have on their bingo card. They were not expecting. Right? So you're the one who got away unscathed. To them, their idea of it is that you escaped, that you got away from them, that you got away with your life when they wanted everything from you, including your life, right? So they wanted control over you. They wanted control over your bodily autonomy. They wanted control over your finances. They wanted control over your spiritual gifts. They wanted to have control over you, where you go, who you see, who talks to you, how much money you make, what money you spend, where you live. I mean, they wanted all of that to be under their control so that they could manipulate all of those things. Right? So, but you are actually in the upright. You are independent from this. This either did not work, or you're the only one left who's the true heir, and it's all yours. It's all for you. It's all because of you. You're the one who gets all the gifts. You're the only one with money or something. I don't know what this is. Okay, the money's all yours, or you're the only one with money, or you're the only one who got away without, I'm not going to say without trauma, because you definitely suffered trauma. All people suffer trauma. You know what I mean? But you did not suffer the type of trauma that individuals were attempting to visit upon you. First of all, you're independent from that. You're a survivor. So the trauma that you did encounter, the trauma that is yours, it is a hard fought and a hard won victory and lesson learned. Hard fought and hard won victory, right? Each one. So this could be like a 9-year period. This could be something that has been happening since year 9 for you, however that plays out, okay, numerically, or since you were 9 years old or something like that. This could be a significant 9-year period or something like that. 9 significant pieces of evidence. If this is something that, is happening for someone legally that was not on their bingo card, they don't have the same kind of protections that you do when things happen that weren't on their bingo card. They don't have the same kind of protections that you do, because they did not give thanks to God. They didn't give anything to God, thanks least of all. So they're just, this family or this group, you either escaped from it or you're the only one left. Like, all of your family has passed or something. If so, my condolences. Okay. Or everything was left to you. So I'm getting these very solitary, also very grounded here in the material. You're not wanting for anything. This is you in the lap of luxury. This is you leading a luxurious lifestyle, but, this is not surrounded by family. This is you doing what you do by yourself, So you escaped this by yourself. You escaped it with your life. You escaped it with your spiritual gifts intact, you know, like everything's intact for you. You're also stable. You're healthy, you're wealthy, you're prosperous. This is great energy. Even though you were attacked over and over again, even though you had to set up healthy boundaries to individuals, it's okay to do that. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to set up healthy boundaries against individuals who abandoned you, you know. I'm getting the hired a hooker to call you a hooker energy. Someone might have said that you were a prostitute because you were alone, or because they might have targeted you because you were alone, such as a predator would, such as someone who particularly preys upon vulnerable women or youthful women who are alone, like the PIMP energy or a madam energy, or someone who has either made money relative to that industry, right? That individual would be very quick to, you know, hire a hooker to call you a hooker, or they themselves are a hooker and they're over here calling you a hooker. It's projection or something, okay? That's the energy I'm getting. Because you have enough to take care of yourself, they assume that you have sold your body in order to, what, survive? No. You survived some sort of sex slavery, for sure. Those energies have been coming out lately. They wanted control over your body. They wanted for you to not have any autonomy. If that's not human moving around and sex slavery, then I don't know what is. Okay? So you put up healthy boundaries to these individuals who were either complacent in other individuals treating you that way, or forcing you into situations, or, you know, individuals who actually were the ones, you know, forcing you into situations, or entering into contracts falsely. You know, the entire group or the entire family out here, you know, selling you off to individuals unbeknownst to you. It happens more than you understand. Someone in your family or someone in your friends group, or the entire family or the entire friends group, will all together be profiting off of entering you into a relationship with someone under false pretenses. So they will come to you. You know, your family or your friends will introduce an individual to you, and then you're expected to, or you did, enter into a relationship with this individual, and this individual was either, you know, paying someone for the privilege to be with you. So you were being PIMP'd out, unbeknownst to you, when it was in inversion. The individual you were with was paying for the privilege to be with you. Okay? Or the individual you were with was grooming you so that they could, in turn, receive monies when individuals they knew in a network could be sent towards you and then use you in similar fashion. So these things would happen. First, it would resemble a relationship. And then the relationship would turn violent. The relationship would turn usatory. The relationship would begin as a violent and usatory relationship. Whatever, take it how it resonates. And then the behavior and the treatment of you would degrade into worse and worse and worse situations until the situation you are in is unrecognizably different from any situation that any sex worker, you know, who was sold into slavery has found themselves in. There's levels to these things. So you escaped from this. You set up healthy boundaries to individuals, and it's okay that you did so. It's okay to be alone. That's the energy here. Messages for the collective about this 9 Pentacles. Anything else? Anything else about this 9 Pentacles? 3 of Cups, third parties. Anything else about this Nine of Pentacles? So entering into relationships, spying, secretly watching you, okay? Entering into relationships or, you know, in-person SEXual encounters. That is not the only way to, you know, PIMP someone. There are digital PIMPs as well. So now we're getting into the digital PIMP territory. If someone who was involved in this group, who came toward you and entered into a relationship with you under false contract or under false pretense, for whatever reason, either directly or indirectly, or while they were in a relationship with you or afterward, surrounded themselves or allowed themselves to be used by these people who were, you know, using you, basically, right? So in-person activity is not the only way in which that they could profit and exploit you. There's also things that can be done online and digitally. There's things that can be done via cameras installed. So they could have, you know, been spying on you. They could have been secretly watching you. So they could have been stalking you. They could have been having you followed and stalked. They could have had individuals, perhaps younger individuals, watching you, little spies bringing back information, okay? They could have been watching you on cameras, illegally surveilling you, okay? They could have been watching you in private areas that was illegal to watch you in, such as your home, and very private areas in your home, like your bedroom and the bathroom and stuff like that, where you might be nude, or they might actually be able to get on camera some sort of, you know, SEXual encounter, or just you in nude, or just you doing everyday things. All of these things, individuals who are willing to profit and prey upon vulnerable individuals will use all of that footage in order to make money off of it in various ways. And worse and worse and worse. So that's the energy, okay? Thank you. Anything else for this Nine of Pentacles? That is what you escaped from, collective. The Eight of Swords. These individuals are going to prison, and it wasn't on their bingo card, okay? These individuals are going to prison. These individuals were trying to trap you. That's what you escaped from. That's what you're independent from. You attained or regained your bodily autonomy. You escaped from individuals. You are independent from these situations here in the material. You're stable here in the material. What you escaped from was some sort of false imprisonment. These individuals wanted to trap you. So they might have been using spies or digital cameras, media, stuff like that, pictures, whatever, hacked photos, hacked systems, hacked cameras, stuff like that, you know, illegally installed cameras, stuff like that, illegally hacked into cameras and files and systems and stuff like that. They might have been using those things and also creating scenarios in which they thought they were going to, you know, affect your future, in which they thought they could see into the future because they were creating your future. They thought they were playing God in your life, creating scenarios in which you didn't have any bodily autonomy because you were either unaware or you were being forced into situations, or a combination of both, right? They wanted to trap you with this. They wanted to trap you. They wanted to trap you in this lifestyle. They wanted to trap you in the idea of the SEX trade. They wanted for it to tarnish your reputation. They wanted for you to be stuck in your head. They wanted to falsely imprison you. They could have actually falsely imprisoned you. You could have, for a time, been either restricted from movement, so trigger warning. They could have kept you locked up or chained you down or had you in an area of a house or an area of a room where you were restricted from movement. So right, like, no bodily autonomy, right? So that might have happened to you, or you might have been falsely imprisoned. You might have had, some corrupt officials who either, turned a blind eye or were in on it. Pick you up. You might have been arrested. You might have been imprisoned. This might have been intention, right? So the fact that you're independent from this, I do not see that you are imprisoned now. If you were in the past, that was a false imprisonment. If you were being held against your will, that is a false imprisonment. Those are crimes. Each and every one of those are crimes. Like I said, 9 counts. 9-year periods. From age 9, something like that. These individuals are going to prison. And it was not on their bingo card to go to prison. But prison is where they will go, or they're already in prison. For spying on you, for stalking you, for illegally surveilling you, for illegally doing things online with digital media, for committing crimes against you, all manner. Thank you. Anything else for this? What does the collective meaning know at this time? What does the collective meaning know at this time? What does the collective meaning know at this time? The 5 of Cups. Someone's sad. Someone's sad because they're going to prison, or someone is in prison and they're sad because of it. Someone has suffered a loss. An emperor. An emperor could be going to prison, or an emperor could be sad. Take it as it resonates. Okay, Emperor, this could be your father, this could be your husband, this could be your ex-husband, this could be your boss, your ex-boss, something like that, I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Father figure, older brother, older cousin, father-in-law, stepfather, something like that. Grandfather. Death. Okay. Someone is sad because they have suffered a loss, such as someone's passing. My condolences. These individuals might have targeted someone else and caused a death. And that's why they're in prison, because they're repeat offenders. What they did to you, you escaped from, but you weren't the first person, but you were the last. Or these poor individual whom they caused the death of was the last. Take it as it resonates. Individuals in prison for their crimes. Crimes against you, crimes against other people. People who do this sort of thing, they're not just going to target one person. They're going to do it over and over and over again. These are serious crimes. 9 of Cups, someone was very selfish, very self-centered, or this person going to prison represents a wish fulfillment for you. Okay, take it as it resonates. You might not necessarily wish prison upon somebody, but you would wish for someone to receive their just rewards and punishments in order for justice to be served. And we have prisons for a reason. Because people who are a danger to society should be put away. 10 of Cups. This could be your own family. Like Emperor, your father, your grandfather, something, stepfather, something like that. Your family, or your whole family was in on it, or an entire family was in on it. Okay? Anything else collective needs to know at this time? Anything else collective needs to know at this time? From this day, anything else? The Tower. Yeah, these individuals, it's a tower for them. It's a tower. There are no more games. There are no more playing God in people's lives. That is over with. They're done playing these little games. They think they're little games. They treated people's lives, people's privacy, people's personal autonomy, bodily autonomy, they treated it as a joke. So it's a tower. Tower after tower after tower, until every single count is accounted for. Tower after tower after tower, because like I said, repeat offender. These are no slap on the hand crimes. No. No, these are no slap on the hand crimes. These are life-changing crimes. The repercussions for these crimes are also going to be life-changing. They stole years from your life, collective. They tried to steal your honor. They failed. They tried to smear your name. They failed. They tried to break your spirit, and they failed. They tried to ruin your life, and they failed. And what they got for it instead is towers. If they're not already experiencing towers, such as depressional states and prison, mentally or otherwise, then they are soon to be happening for them. The tower is current energy tower. Okay, these are shocking events. These are ground shaking events for individuals. These are things that individuals thought were going to stand for forever, all of a sudden crumbling away and falling away from them. All of the stability and the foundations in their life that they have lived on thus far, crumbling and falling away. Everything that they stood upon, falling away. Their whole life turning upside down. The fall is going to be something to watch, that's for sure. Looks like God is making a spectacle of it. Okay, let's get some closing messages. Okay, justice and the lovers. You're getting justice for all the indecent things done to you in the area of love and sex, stuff like that. Justice, okay? These individuals are being brought to justice. Perpetrators of crimes, these criminals are being brought to justice. Wishes for the fishes, please. What does the collective need now at this time? Closing messages. Closing messages for the collective. The Page of Cups inverted. A lack of self-love. Or someone stole a baby. Someone affected your ability to have babies. I'm sorry for these traumatic events. Okay. Justice. You're receiving justice for them messing with your ability to procreate. Okay. You're receiving justice for them stealing your children. You're receiving justice for them forcing you into situations where you would first be impregnated and then secondly be forced to have, ABO abortions. Okay. All of that energy is present here. Okay. Also, the lack of self-love these individuals showed when they were trying to strip you of your bodily autonomy. Okay. All of those energies are present here with this. They're being brought to justice for this. You're receiving justice for these crimes perpetrated against you. Take it as it resonates. Thank you. The Fool inverted. They wanted for you to not be able to have any new beginnings in life. They wanted to ruin your life. They wanted for you to not be able to escape situations that they manufactured around you to trap you so that you would not be able to get away. You wouldn't experience anything new or loving. You wouldn't have grace in your life. All you would have were these criminals oppressing you, using you, violating you over and over and over again, making out like it was a joke, making out like it was funny, violating you. You're receiving justice for this. You're receiving justice for all of the new beginnings that you lost. Everything that you lost, you'll be repaid tenfold. But there are some things that you just can't repay someone for. I mean, how are they going to repay you for years stolen? How are they going to repay you for children stolen? How are they going to repay you for that? There's no repayment for that. No, that's only something that you have to give to God to move away from, okay? These individuals, okay? Lying, stealing. Traditional K-I-L-L-E-R of the deck here. Lovers. A whole group of lovers is being looked into, okay? Or this is about Virgo energies. This is about introspection, or this is about an investigator. Someone is investigating. There's an investigator investigating the patterning within a group that is a group of liars and thieves. Possible K-I-L-L-E-Rs that all sleep together, or there's a couple within the group that in particular are under investigation, right? Or there's a particular couple, maybe it's your mother and your father or something, or it's a Gemini. Okay, so we have Virgo and we have Gemini energies. Take it as it resonates. But these individuals are liars. So they lied to you, they lied to everyone, they lied to themselves. They're trying to lie to get out of the tower right now. They're trying to lie to get out of prison. They're trying to lie to get out of having to go to prison. They're trying to avoid going to prison. They think they're going to get out of investigations by lying, by K-I-L-L-ing, leaving no witnesses. But there are witnesses. Everything they did is documented, first of all. And if they were secretly surveilling you and committing crimes, they were also being surveilled. Because like I said, there is no bigger, badder gang than the U.S. government. And gangs out here operating within the criminal, element are under, they're being watched. Like every single one of them. They're on a list. They're being tapped. They live a life of crime. They have to run and hide and lie for a living. They can't live their life out in the open. They can't go by their real names. They can't go by their real backgrounds. They can't live a real life with people. Their life is lying, stealing, and K-I-L-L-ing. Their life is paying to sleep with people or getting paid to sleep with people or entering people into situations in which they will be trapped and lose bodily autonomy, such as human moving around and sex trafficking. And then further crimes involving children, the theft of children, the loss of children, the inability to have children. Individuals perpetrating crimes involving all of that in order to make sure that you don't get away, in order to make sure that you don't have any new beginnings in life, in order to make sure that you never escape the trap that they set for you. They traumatize you once and then they want to re-traumatize you over and over again so they can control your mind, so they can make you feel in bouts of sadness, perhaps, lying the whole time, perhaps entering into false contracts with you. You thinking you escaped one abusive situation just to find yourself in another abusive situation. You thinking you escaped one abusive family just to find yourself in another abusive family. This sort of use and abuse of yourself by individuals surrounding you became a pattern. So you learned from that. You escaped that. You closed yourself off. You became independent from situations, people, places, and things that were only going to harm you or hurt you or be to your detriment or didn't serve your better purpose. Individuals particularly who were trying to make sure that you couldn't escape this world of slavery. Just like any other slavery element in the history of the world, laws are used by criminals in order to perpetrate crimes. Every time there has ever been a history where slavery was acceptable, there has always been a protection of criminals, perpetrators of crimes involving SCX slavery. In particular, there has always been a protection within the law for individuals who perpetrate these crimes if they know the loopholes. No matter what, slavery period we're talking about. Okay? Slavery, even though the root word were white peoples, slavery is not bound to a black or a dark melanated peoples. All peoples have been forced into slavery. Women especially. Children especially. Women and children have always been the most vulnerable to the sexual slavery. It still happens today. These individuals were trying to utilize systems that were corrupted in order to force you and keep you in modern day slavery. By lying and keeping up some sort of guise of it being, no, we're married. Or, no, I wasn't paid to go over there and get into a relationship with the collective. No, I never received any monies for introducing the collective to anybody. No, none of that ever happened. Okay. All evidence to the contrary. Money is traceable. It doesn't even have to be money. It can be DRUGs. It can be favors. It can be trading. Oh, I'll let you use mine if you let me use yours, sort of thing. Also with children. Children are especially susceptible to this. I'll let you use mine if you let me use yours. That sort of thing. All of this is being investigated. The perpetrators of these crimes are being brought to justice, okay? But yeah, at a time, these individuals were allowed to do this because society didn't deem it worthy of, criminal charges. Modern day slavery, it's not worthy of criminal charges. I beg to differ. People are starting to come around with ideas such as marital RAPE, non-consensual issues, coercion, mind control tactics, grooming, and then entire corrupted systems where people in positions of trust and power involved in the corruption, abusing their positions, abusing the power and the trust of the people closest to them, or the people whom they represent. This is all being looked into. Or like I said, there's a Gemini or a couple out here in particular that are under investigation for theft and lies. Okay, they're being brought to justice. This is your justice. Anything else from King of Swords? You could be this King of Swords, or the King of Swords could be an investigator or a lawyer, something like that. Okay, Emperor showed up earlier, could be the judge or a judge. Take it as it resonates. Messages for the collective. Wishes for the fishes. Anything else from this deck? Queen of Wands inverted. Okay, so the King of Swords is looking right at the Queen of Wands inverted. So perhaps the Queen of Wands inverted, this is a female fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, this feminine could be part of the couple or an individual within the group, you know. This could be a madam energy, okay? Or this could be someone who, you know, has been forced into the sexual slavery. So it might have happened really young. So they have never really known any different. So now as an adult, they just sort of operate, you know, the same as everybody around them does. Or they operate in a manner in which they were raised to operate in. So this could be someone who, you know, is either like, you know, a dark spiritual practitioner and they grew up in the SEX industry. They might have had parents or a group or something that, you know, were, you know, over-sexualized or were in the industry themselves or something like that. So this individual, that's what I'm getting, this individual grew up in the industry or grew up around individuals who were in the industry or industry adjacent. Okay? And so this individual operates this way because it is a learned behavior from them. This is a lifestyle that they lead because they never knew anything else. Okay, but that doesn't change the fact that this individual is out here committing crimes for which they will be brought to justice for. Okay, thank you. Okay. This Queen of Wands inverted could have represented you at the time in which someone was stealing your power away, you know? Like you could have felt that you lacked personal power at this time, right? The Seven of Swords. They're trying to get away with it, trying to be sneaky. Someone's sneaky, someone's trying to sneak and lie. Someone's very sneaky. Or this could be you, the Seven of Swords, like, I'm got all these swords and I'm going home taking all these swords with me. Queen of Cups, okay, the feminine water sign. So, this could be about a mother, or your wife, or your girlfriend, or someone who's pregnant. Someone could be pregnant. King of Coins inverted. This could be the PIMP. Okay, now we have both King of Coins inverted and Queen of Wands inverted. So this is definitely giving PIMP and Madam, or PIMP and SEX slave. Okay, take it as it resonates. These could be someone, these could be individuals in your family, or this could be a masculine earth sign who's acting out of lower vibrational practices, and a feminine fire sign who is acting out of low vibrational practices. Take it as it resonates. This could be a King of Coins and a Queen of Wands who are inverted because they have been caught up and are being brought to justice, or they have been brought to justice, okay? Queen of Cups, this could be you. You could be this feminine water sign, or you could just be a sweetheart. Queen of Cups is kind of the sweetheart of the deck, okay? Oh, the Nine of Pentacles again. Yeah. Nine of Pentacles right out over the Tower. So the tower that is befalling these individuals, these successive towers, because it's not just one, it's like repeat, tower, repeat for these individuals. You're independent from this. And again, it is directly correlated to you having autonomy for which they were trying to strip you of. They were trying to get you into a situation where you would be trapped, or they were trying to keep you in a situation where you were trapped. You escaped from this, or you escaped from the attempt, or both. There could be successive periods in your life where you were, the victim of this group, or these peoples, or these individuals, or your family, or whatever this is. It could have happened to you more than once. It could have happened to you when you were a child. You could have been used and abused by your family or other families or other members of the community or society or strangers. I don't know. When you were a child. This could have happened when you were an older child as well. This could have happened when you were a teenager as well. This could happen when you were a young adult. This could have happened when you were, entering into your adulthood, like, getting married, having kids of your own, starting a family of your own. It could happen then too. You could have, experienced the same thing, escaped from that. You could have gotten to another relationship, maybe a second marriage or something. You could have got divorced. You could have had another family with another set of children or something like that. It could have happened again. It could have been that you suffered this repeatedly. Individuals targeting you, or individuals were premeditating the entire thing. Like the Three of Wands in the beginning. Premeditation. Because they thought they were going to affect your future by controlling your life. Premeditating all of this. Because they thought they were going to control your life. They thought they were going to control you. Or at one point they did control you. At one point you did not have say over who you were next to, who could speak to you. You might have been being lied to whenever you were spoken to, or whenever you were with someone. You might have been forced into situations that you were uncomfortable with, or that you downright knew were wrong, or you could have been forced into worse and worse situations where it was obvious and outright, assault or RAPE. You could have been forcibly DRUGGE'd. All of that could have happened in order to affect your ability to make decisions for yourself, or in order to, create a scenario in which they could smear your name, smear your reputation, ruin your life, because they wanted to control your life, because they wanted to isolate you. But they didn't know that isolating you was exactly what God's plan was. It wasn't on their bingo card. That God had a plan the whole time, because you were giving thanks to God the whole time. Because this is you, sweetheart, okay? And there's a King of Swords looking right at this Queen of Wands. Someone is under the piercing gaze and the piercing questions of the King of Swords here. I believe this is an investigator or something. Detective or something. King of Wands. Okay, a lot of characters showing up now. Anything else? Wishes for the fishes? Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father, anything else? Wishes for the fishes? Magician and the Empress. Okay. The Magician and the Empress. So, this is you, collective. Magician, Empress. Okay? You are a natural manifester. You're naturally abundant. You have everything you need under your fingertips in order to manifest the life that you want, and you do. You're healthy, you're wealthy, you're abundant, naturally beautiful. Everything grows where you are. You could be a mother. Okay, or there could be someone who considers themselves a magician, someone who is playing God. Okay, someone who was trying to, control your life, Empress. Some magician out here trying to control your life. Someone trying to affect your life in a negative way. Someone trying to control your life. Someone trying to control what happens to you. Someone trying to control something with children too. The children thing we're showing up. Stealing children from you. Getting you with child purposely in order to traumatize you and steal the child from you in order to traumatize you. Treating you as if you were worthless, all the while you're out here the Empress. You're everything. Someone trying to control the narrative, or there's somebody's mother out here. Like I said, hiring a hooker to call you a hooker, or they themselves being a hooker, projecting that onto you and calling you a hooker. Trying to manifest their life onto you. Trying to steal your life and swap it with theirs. Trying to steal your life. That's what this is. Okay? But again, it didn't work. The Nine of Pentacles popped out twice. So there might have been two very significant periods in which you escaped and, attained or regained your bodily autonomy. So this could be like, once in childhood and then once after your, grown relationship involving children and family. Okay, so two very significant periods in which you were used and abused, particularly, asexually. Okay, and when that type of abuse is involved, it is very likely that all other abuses are involved in as well. I mean, right? I don't know, but I think that's a good assumption that, if they are asexually abusing you, then all manner of other abuse is there as well. Other types of physical abuse, other types of psychological abuse, other types of emotional abuse. Okay. Financial abuse. Making money off of you and then, withholding money from you. Exploiting you and then withhold money from you. Stealing money from you and then withholding finances from you. Wanting to see you grovel, wanting to see you, codependent, or wanting to see you be dependent for the rest of your life, this sort of thing. And then, your husband or your secondary family or whatever, just repeating the same crimes against you, like totally premeditated. They got together and they planned this. And it could have been happening or been going on or been planned from when you were very young or a child, okay? Long-term plan, Nine of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to leave it on that, collective. Okay, these are energies, Empress energies. Independent from what they're trying to manifest here in the material, even though it might have happened once or it might have happened twice. You learned your lessons from these things. You are independent from these situations. You are healing. You have grown from these things. You've grown from these lessons. You are healing. You are growing. You're doing great. These are great energies. You're doing great. They're in a nightmare. Going through towers, in prison, depressive states. You're doing just really great. So, I'm going to leave it on that, okay? Till next time. Bye.